guys. Enlight Ben, how you doing? Icon Landscape, always here, always hopping in. There's Brandon saying hello. Hi guys, how you doing? Look at all these waves coming in. So exciting. Hi, hello. So we're going to go live here with Marc from Webrunner in 1 minute. He'll be joining us here. And like I was saying just a few seconds ago on the TechnoBlock account, hey FJ Services, we've got about 20 questions that have come in the past hour or so. So lots of good ones, some pretty intense ones too. There's one that's basically asking when traditional websites might not be relevant anymore. So some pretty good questions that we're going to get to here with Marc. And we've got just about $2,000 of prizes that we're giving away today. We got the coffee maker, we got the sample books, all kinds of fun stuff. Webrunner is here. So let me invite him here, and we're going to get started with Marc. So sit back, relax. I hope everyone's got something to snack on or to drink. I'm out of water. I didn't fill my water mug. We'll be okay. Marc, how you doing?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Good. All right. So for those of you who watched the episode today, which I guess is most of you because that's how you would have heard about this, you saw us take a few of the questions that we got coming in from you guys. And basically, tonight we're going to hit a few more. So, Marc, I know that you and I reviewed about 5 to 10 questions a few minutes ago, but it literally blew up since then. So I've got a bunch more to go through. So it's going to be fun.
Cool.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Okay. So I wish I could put these in order, but literally they just all came in. So we're going to hit them. And if one that I see is related to another one, we'll just connect the dots and we'll keep moving. So first question. I'm looking to start investing in professional marketing. How much should I expect to spend if I'm looking for kind of an entry-level package to just kind of start investing?
Good question. Depends who you're working with, obviously. If you're looking for something kind of full service and you want, the whole works, start with your branding, get your web presence going. I mean, you could drop a couple $1,000 on that easy. Just to give you guys a ballpark, websites nowadays, they'll range anywhere from, the Wix do-it-yourself kind of platform where you're talking maybe a couple dollars a month, right up to 30, 40, 50 grand and then some. But you can get something really half decent for not a whole lot of money. From a marketing standpoint, after that, so you got your website and then you need to drive traffic to it. And I mean, I guess that's a good point to make, Alex. People watching don't think that the website equates to leads and revenue. It doesn't. It's a website. It's your storefront, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like I built a store. Great. Customers need to come to the store. Otherwise, the store doesn't make any money. So
yeah. In fact, I'd almost say, you're almost better to focus on worrying about how you're going to get people there than, a lot of people have tendency to want to build, the big fancy website, and that's secondary. You can do that later,
Yeah.
So if you're putting all the eggs in the website basket, but then you're not left with anything to market the business, it's a big mistake. So I mean, ballpark, usually, again, look at what your expected revenues are for the year, come up with what you're comfortable investing from a marketing standpoint, percentage of revenue, and then put that into a marketing play and focus on the things that are going to drive business immediately. This question was from someone who was just starting, if I'm not mistaken, right, Alex?
Yeah, this is someone who's just starting to invest in marketing for their business.
Yeah, so in that case, you got to be thinking acquisition, right? You got to be thinking offense. We got to go and get the goals here. So we need customers fast. That's revenue, cash in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess this ties well into the next question. Can I get by without a website? Can I just have a Facebook page and drive traffic through there with some lead forms and things like that?
Yeah, you can, and we see it, it's totally possible to get by without a website these days. Now, is that a long-term play? Maybe not the best, but if you're just getting started and you're limited in terms of resources, do you put your money on a big fancy website, or do you invest in an acquisition model that's going to drive you leads, right? Traffic and leads. Naturally, you need something, right? So whether that be a Facebook page where you're showcasing all your stuff, we like to have, at least a URL that you own with some kind of web presence, but it could just be your landing page. There are times where we'll build a landing page for a customer and, it just totally outperforms the customer's website because the website is dated or it just doesn't have what it needs. It's too slow. Many reasons. And they will just elect at a certain point, say, you know what, let's just make this the website. And so if they're not trying to get the website to bring in a ton of organic traffic, that can work. You can use the landing page as a website, no problem at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the questions somewhat flowing together. I guess let me ask a question just to clarify there. So in terms of what I do with a Facebook page, if I don't have a website yet, I'm not too web savvy, like using Wix or some other website builder to do it myself, and I'm not prepared to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 at minimum to get someone to build a basic site, just a basic place just to collect leads for my business. What are the things I need to worry about on my Facebook page? What do I need to get on there at a minimum so that it works for me?
Yeah, I think someone in that situation, Alex, we're talking about really organic grassroots marketing. So you want to pick up a book on guerrilla marketing tactics, and you want to go to town on that. I don't care if it means leaving business cards at the breakfast diner, if it means doing the local networking events, building relationships. You got to do all those kind of things. From a marketing perspective, if you're driving people to Facebook, you become a lot more, I guess, limited in terms of, you're running marketing campaigns. Your endpoint's going to be that Facebook page. So your Facebook page, ultimately what it needs to have are just a great description of what your company, does, who you serve. Mm-hmm. Basic things like your name, your address, your phone number, your hours of operation, how you deal with customers. We know through the pandemic, immediately everyone had to start communicating that, hey, we can do things remotely and blah, blah, blah. So you got to communicate properly. And then it's pictures and videos, man. It's showcase what you can do, because that's what sells, right?
Yeah, and that's what we talked about on today's episode too, right? Like using something as simple as your phone. Make sure to get before and after and testimonials. If you have those three things all the time, you're basically telling the story of a project each time without necessarily being good at writing good story, like actually being a good writer. It's a visual world anyway with what we do anyway.
That's right, and it's easy, right? You can take on a project, and if that project that you just took on, you're able to really transform that person's home, the yard, or what have you. You got a great, before and after shot, and you can tell a story. Just a little post to go with the image. Sometimes people are lazy, so you want to make sure that if you're doing this, that you're at least putting in the time to go and document and share what you're doing. You can do that with your images. You can do a nice video of the reveal afterwards. You can do a video of yourself actually walking through the project and talking about why you use these materials, the process that went into it, why the customer chose to do this, and that just gets people's mind going, right?
That's right.
So super powerful, time consuming though. So
yeah. But you need to do that investment if you want to get found. If you want people to hire you, they need to know about you. I see FJ Services here just said sometimes they go live on Facebook while on job sites. That's not a bad idea either. Like you're able to show it right there on the spot.
Yeah, exactly.
The right thing there is just figure out the right time of day so you get the most eyeballs on it. Hence why we're doing this live at 6:00 tonight instead of 12:30 in the afternoon like last week.
Yeah, and to your point, Alex, that comes with time, right? So in the beginning, people, a lot of the questions that we get from a marketing standpoint are, hey, you guys do A/B testing, and how does this work? And everyone wants to get fancy with all the technical stuff, but at the very least, just start, do something. And then once you start to see trends, you can identify trends from what you're doing. It becomes a lot easier to kind of double down on, okay, at this time of day, this day, let's, people resonate well with this style of content. So let's evolve with that,
Okay. I got a more technical question. This is from my friend Matt at Hardscape Ottawa. He's asking, I don't know how to answer this one. Like, I do marketing, but I'm not this kind of marketing guy. So hopefully you can answer. Predictions for if and when Google My Business takes over traditional websites, like when it overtakes traditional websites, and what that may look like or mean for the sphere of contractor marketing.
Good question. That's on our radar, because we're always looking at what's happening, how are things evolving in the world of digital, and with AI and machine learning, things are becoming more and more automated. So we're like, okay, how much longer are we going to have jobs, right? But the reality is, I think, two-part question. I think it's going to be a while before you can completely replace your website. I mean, you can today, actually. Google has a product whereby you can get your website built entirely on Google. So, I mean, you guys can check out. You can get a very simple, basic website that loads extremely quickly through Google, and I don't think there's any fees associated. Right now, again, there'll be limitations in terms of what you can do, and it won't look like a website that you dropped a whole bunch of money on. But at the very least, you'll have an online presence. Yeah. So that's already there.
You have a storefront on the #1 search engine. So it's already a good place to start.
It's already a good place to start. But at the end of the day, I think, we'll be employed for a long time. There's, you got to look at the tactics and the strategies, and then you got to bring all that together, right? So you're testing creatives, you're testing offers, you're testing leveraging different platforms. Search is just one channel, right? Google's one channel. Social is a channel that is evolving. So for us, it's just a matter of trying to keep up with the trends, and just stay on top of things to make sure that we don't become, well, like your cup there, the cup you had, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, we don't want to become extinct, for sure. So just on the top, just because you're talking about channels, right? So we said, having a Facebook page, that becomes one channel. Using other social media like Instagram, like TikTok, like Sean Collinsgrove from Premier is doing, and he's landing big jobs through TikTok and LinkedIn also. Those are other channels. Google My Business is another channel. And there's another one that our company offers, TechnoBlock offers, which is for our Techo pros, which is called The Village. So on the TechnoBlock website, you can have a profile that's very similar to a Google My Business page, where you have pictures of your business and of your projects. You can list your services, your opening hours, contact information, and that's just another way to get your business found. So there are a few ways that are inexpensive to free that can give you some visibility. And that Techo Pro program, all you have to do is just go to techoblock.com, and you'll see it up there. Become a pro, and you can learn more about that program.
And Alex, just to kind of elaborate on that point, those are easy wins, right? There are a ton of profiles that you can go and build your own company profile on that are going to help you when it comes to SEO and looking like a much more credible source in the eyes of Google, right? So we're talking about building, if you hire an SEO company, one of the first things they're going to do is look at your footprint online, and they're going to see where they can find directory listings, right? So there are a ton of directories that you can go and get listed in. The idea is to not be, think quality, not so much quantity. Quantity is good, but you want to get nice listings on relevant sites and make sure that they're well populated. So something like you said, The Village, getting a profile on there, you can link back to your website, and at the same time, upload your pictures, your content. That's all very, very, very beneficial. Yeah.
That's it. So we just listed a bunch of different a bunch of different channels. Another question was, what's the best channel for generating quality leads that you've seen in the hardscape industry?
What's the best channel?
Yeah.
I mean, search and
one that works better than other. Like, if I have to prioritize one, what should it be?
I don't think I could prioritize one, Alex. I think everybody needs to be doing search, and everybody should be doing social, right?
You got to do both at a minimum.
You've got to be doing both. And whether you do paid or organic, that's a different story. But think about it. If somebody is in market looking for your products, you cannot get a better lead aside from a referral or word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
Someone calls you and says, "Hey, you did work at my neighbors. I love it. When can you come over?" That's the best. That's what we want. But for the people who don't know that you exist, they're looking for what you do. You have to be found. So that's search. Yeah. And then, people will be looking for your business. And we talked a lot about this earlier, as well as in our course, but
and Matt's reinforcing it. Search engine leads are typically hotter buyers. They're further down the funnel. They're looking for who will do it. They're not looking for ideas. That's right. And then social, we equate social to, yes, it's a platform where you can storytell, you can showcase what you can do, but you're getting in front of buyers who may not necessarily be looking for your service, but at some point in time, you've done a good job of, establishing yourself locally and demonstrating the value that you bring homeowners. You will be the one that they reach out to when they're ready. And you'll likely see, byproduct of running advertising or being aggressive on social is you'll see a lift in branded search, right? And you see that people who invest heavily on social media, people will reach out to them directly via social if they're following them, if they're connected. But at the same time, you'll also see, if you look at your analytics, you'll see people finding your website over time just through your own company name, because now you're more established. People know who you are. That's it. And I just want to address, I see that comment from Dreamscape Outdoors. Shoot me a DM, Mr. or Mrs. Dreamscape there, and I'll take care of you. I'll figure out what's going on there. Okay. Organic only, or do I start paid ads? That's the question. I think there are 10 questions we need to ask in response to that, but let's try to answer it. Should I stick with organic only, or do I need to start paid ads? The question I would follow up with on that, so I'm going to answer a question with a question, is how soon do you want results? Because that's really what it comes down to. So depending on where you're at in business, if you're just starting out, you don't have the luxury of investing money to see a return in 6 months or a year, right? Because any type of organic content initiative, I'm talking mainly SEO, optimizing a website and creating content within a website in order to increase its traffic. Well, what you're doing is you're trying to get pages of your website indexed higher up on Google so that you can generate more traffic. That can take an enormous amount of time, depending on how competitive your market is and how many people are listed for the same terms that you'd be competing against. So, you need a great content play, and it can take time. So if you're doing this yourself, great. Costs aren't necessarily as high. You're sort of making the investment in terms of time. But imagine, Alex, you've got a website that generates, let's call it, 400 or 500 visitors a month. To go and get that to generate several thousand visitors a month can take a long time if you're not necessarily that experienced. So you hire a company to do it. That can cost you a substantial amount of dollars, and it can take some time. So the difference with paid is that you can fast track that. You can get that volume of traffic almost overnight and be very, very, very targeted, right? And so the learning, you don't have to wait for a lot of time to elapse to go by in order to get a good handle on what's working and what's not. Okay. So that's basically like you got to look at, what do I want to do in terms of revenue? How many projects do I need to sell to do that? How many designs do I need to do, or consultations do I need to run to be able to get that? How many leads does that look like? How many clicks do I typically need to get a lead? And then from there, you can see, well, is my organic giving me enough, or do I need to boost it? And if you need more leads, well, then you need to do something different, and maybe paid ads is that different thing. That's right. Yep. You look at your website, you look at how much traffic you're getting, and think about it. If a website converts at a couple percent, call it 2-3%, maybe more, depending if you got a great website. But 100 visitors might lead you, might yield you a lead or 2 or 3. So if you want to go and get 30, 40, 50, 100 leads a month, you're going to need to really, get that traffic up. And obviously, I'm biased, guys. So people watching here, we run a paid media company, so that's the one thing that's the one thing that we do. So I mean paid, but I understand the importance of organic. And in fact, we do a lot of organic ourselves. We generate a lot of our own leads through content. There's a reason why we invest in content, and we have people on our team that are active on social media, create blog posts. We try to teach, educate. These are all things that help us to rank organically for very specific terms. So we would be hypocrites if we said that no, paid's the only way to go. It's not. So if you want to look at a well-rounded marketing plan,
you do need, the long-term play, but the paid media just moves the needle faster.
So to put it simply, keep making good content. That helps. It gives you organic results. It gets your name out there. But if you need to get results faster, you need to get results now, then you should be investing. You should be investing in some paid ads. And you don't need to spend thousands of dollars up front either. The nice thing with online marketing is you can invest a little bit right and immediately see the results. And then you can see like, okay, I spent $20. It gave me this kind of reach and I got one lead. All right, well, maybe we ramp it up and we do $100 over the weekend and see what that does. And within a couple of weeks, you start to get a feel for what's working, what's not for your business. And then if you want to take it to that extra level, there's companies like yours that's what you do. And yeah,
right.
there's a more significant investment, but it's going to be done right. It's going to be done professionally. And it's something that you now don't have to worry about. You just have to convert those leads into sales for your business.
That's right. That's right.
Let's see here. Well, okay, let's talk about this. The question was, I seem to keep getting burned by marketing people and agencies. Why? With a big emoji of like,
Okay. Yeah, that's not good. Well, I'll tell you why, because I hear that over and over. And when people come our way, they're hoping that we're going to be the savior. And, I'd love to say that it's because we do things entirely, different, right? I'll say the way that we approach things are different, but a lot of the times people get burnt because they don't do their due diligence up front. So as a contractor, you might be expecting one thing. The marketing company may have some agenda. They're trying to just sell you on their package, their program, or whatever, and they don't take the time to understand what you want, what you're after. So all of a sudden, you're both, smitten by the nice presentation, the conversation you had, boom, you get into business, but you didn't really set a good sort of, ground layer of what you're expecting down the road. So a couple months in, people start getting frustrated. I'm not getting the lead volume I want. It's not the right quality. My services aren't well aligned. And, I feel like I'm wasting money. It's taking too long. So, God knows, reasons are endless. But ultimately, it all boils down to no one did a good job of identifying what it is that we're trying to accomplish here. So to your point earlier, Alex, we've got to start with the end in mind. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve revenue-wise? What are you trying to sell more of? What are the jobs that you want and don't want? What does that look like from an average job size? And then let's break that down. Let's get a good lead volume, and let's make sure that our strategy is conducive to you generating the right traffic to get the right number of leads. And that's what it is. Very often people get together and it's, hey, our budget doesn't work. It doesn't work. Our goal's up here, our budget's down here, or So it's just messy. Oftentimes that's what we see. People started working together. There wasn't a well laid out plan. It's like anything, right? Somebody hires a contractor to take the yard done.
That's what I was gonna say. Like there's good contractors and there's bad contractors. And why do people hire bad contractors? Because they don't understand the difference between a good one or a bad one. Why do people hire bad agencies? Because they don't understand the difference between a good one and a bad one. You know how you can know? Take the course that you guys built on the website on hardscaper.com, because it tells you like this is what you need to be concerned with digital marketing for your business. So even if you're not going to do it yourself because it's intimidating for you or you don't have the time or whatever, if you take the course, then you know what matters. And then at least you're in a better position than when you're talking to an agency, you can ask them, so how do you do this thing? Show me the anatomy of a landing page built by you, because I just saw on that course exactly what matters and why it matters to my business. So if you're able to do that, then you're able to put yourself in a position where you're in control of that conversation with the contractor, which in this case is the web agency or digital marketing agency that you would want to hire. And that's why we built that course, because so many people, that's a very common problem. They're like, I'm spending money. It's not giving me anything. Marketing is a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. It's one of the keys to freedom for your business, because you get to be selective over everything. It puts you in control. To do that, you need to know what you're talking about at least a little bit. That's why we built this course together, Mark.
Yeah,
I know agree. I'm telling you, I'm more telling everyone else. Like I know you know that.
No, it's accountability. how do you hold someone accountable if you don't really understand what you should be benchmarking in terms of metrics? So, I mean, and again, another thing marketing companies are notorious for are just over-reporting on metrics that don't really affect the business numbers as much. So, and again, something that we talk about, the impressions and the clicks and the click-through rates and the conversion rates. And
yeah, how many leads did you give me?
yeah, and that's, you know, normal, I think. Yeah, I think you get marketers that maybe they geek out on the tech stuff and the numbers and the data, and they don't always do a good job of relating it back to a business. So you see that, you know, so be careful with that.
Yeah. Let's see here. I like this one. I like this question. I don't know what the answer, but any ways to spy on competitors?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there are for sure.
Go on.
All right. Yeah. So spying on competitors, you have, well, there are tools that you can use to see what people are spending on something like a search engine. You can see which keywords they are bidding on. You can get a feel for what they're spending. I will say these tools are never super accurate. You know, we use a bunch of them and they're not accurate because we test them on ourselves and they're not accurate, right? So we know what we're spending, we know what we're bidding on, and there's always, seems like there's a bit of lag, there's delay, so they're not super accurate. But yeah, you can get a feel for what people are bidding on. And then there's very low cost tools. There are some more expensive tools that you can spend money on, but when it comes to search, there are a couple. There's iEspionage, which is one which we've tested recently.
iEspionage?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is Spy Fu, which is another one.
Spy Fu, like Kung Fu?
Spy Fu, like Kung Fu, that's right. And there's a couple more, but you can just look for like PPC intelligence tool. Google that, you'll find a bunch. The idea, like I said, is take it with a grain of salt. They're used to be more of an indicator, right? Give you an idea. Another thing that you can do is, well, through a platform like Facebook, you can see what ads someone's running, right? So that can give you an idea. So you can head over to someone's Facebook page, and if you scroll down the page, you know, somewhere halfway down in one of the columns, you'll see page transparency. You can click on that, and you can check to see if someone's running ads. That can give you an idea of what promos they're running, what other creatives like, how many ads are they running. Then you can correlate that with spend, right? So we'll, you know, look at some businesses and you see, wow, a whole slew of ads running. They've been running for a really long time. That can give you an indicator as to how successful the ads are potentially. So you can do things like that. And then, of course, I mean, stalk your competitors, right? Follow them, see what they're doing, see what their content game is like, read through their content. People mystery shop all the time. You know, we know businesses that will literally shop their competitors. See, how are they bidding? What are their proposals? What's their sales process like? I mean, it's a dirty game. It's a dirty game, but I mean,
at the end of the day, it's you have to know what's going on in the market if you want to remain competitive. You can't operate your business in a vacuum. That's foolish when you have access to the information. So you may not feel the best about it, but it is something that you need to do. Get over that part. Every good business is aware of what all their competitors are doing. That's just part of being in business.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it used to be, you know, in the past, we used to see businesses that be reluctant to jump on the whole digital bandwagon because it would put the business out there front and center. And so
everyone will see what we're doing.
Everyone will see what we're doing, right? So it's like a scarcity mentality, right? So playing defense all the time, defense. Nowadays, I mean, yeah, you brought up Sean a while ago, so his social media game. Like, how do you compete with? There's so much more to gain than you have to lose by, you know, like, what you're scared someone's going to learn your techniques or which products you're using, or
yeah. Oh, and Hardscape Ottawa is all over this game, so check. He's saying go to page, view source, Control F, so find, and then type in the keyword you're interested in, and it shows how many times it appears in the competitor's page code. That helps also with how they're leveraging the words for. Okay, let's shift gears a little less technical and a little more. What do I need to do to market my business? So here's a question, and it's, what should an internal marketing team look like? I guess you're at the point where you're not doing everything yourself, You're now ready to start hiring some people to help with that. What should that team look like?
Yeah, I think hiring people internally is a great idea. I don't think anybody should ever be totally reliant on an outside firm when it comes to marketing. You want to own your accounts, you want to own your data, and as much as possible, you want to control the narrative that you're putting out there. So you want to, again, in the course, something that we talk about, get your style guide, get your branding on point, your message. But then after that, you need somebody to control that, right? Because if you start hiring companies and you start working with them, guess what? It's a matter of time. People are going to deviate. So now you need somebody that's overseeing every single consumer touch point and making sure that you are respecting that brand, right? That brand, the document that you put together. So in-house, I would say at the very least, get yourself a marketing coordinator to begin, and you can hire somebody fairly junior for that role and just have them manage something like social. But that role can evolve because there's a lot to basically handle, right? You've got a website, you've got a blog, you've got email marketing, you've got we talked social media. There's hiring even, like we have a small marketing team internally here for ourselves, and I couldn't imagine outsourcing all of those things, right? So you build a team in house. You start with one person and then you evolve. Creative, that's something that in time you want to have somebody in house to do, right? So if you can have somebody technical who's able to take photos, shoot videos, edit videos, awesome, right? Rather than pay a company to do that all the time. Because paying a company now, you got to schedule dates, times. You're getting invoices all the time.
You're never going to be as fast as you want to be either, and it's a seasonal business, right? Like that's a reality. And when you complete a job, never looks better than when it's just finished. So if you can get your footage, you get your photography, and not have to come back in the fall when all the leaves are falling, all the plants are dead. It's just that the lighting's not as nice. It's not as bright and vibrant. You don't want to do all your photo shoots and video shoots at the end of the year. So you want to be able to get them when the job's done in the summertime. It's really helpful if you have someone who can take that shot. And I mean, this is turning into the three-way live because Hardscape Ottawa is full of good points right now. But your field staff can create content too. If you got some guys and like these are the types of shots that we want to do, you can get those shots, you can get those videos, or you can be doing it yourself. But I think your point is valid. Like you need to be able to get some good content. You need to be able to edit that content, manipulate it to turn into like those images and videos into good consumable pieces for posts for Facebook, for Instagram, for LinkedIn, for TikTok, for all the different platforms, for your ads also if you want to do that. Make sure that those things get uploaded to your portfolio on your website or whatever other channels that you want to do that. And most importantly is you want to have someone who's always keeping an eye on all of the customer touch points, like you said. Where can the customer interact with me? And is that experience good? And is the perception that they would have of my brand the one that I want them to have?
Yeah, and that's the thing, Alex. So if you've got people out in the field taking photos, videos, documenting, you still need somebody in-house who is going to put time and thought into how to leverage this content, repurpose it, turn it into blog posts, get it up onto the website, push it out to social media, come back to it later in time, right? It's not always create. You can repurpose a lot of content. That's a whole other course in and of itself. But you need to have a marketing person in-house. And we're firm believers in hiring marketing coordinators and marketing managers versus senior marketing people with years of experience, just because they'll learn from the ground up and they will evolve into those roles. Mm-hmm. Your coordinator, your manager, and then lead your marketing department and teach the others. And so there's a big advantage to that.
And the other thing is marketing. I mean, it's always been constantly evolving, but especially in the past few years, it's evolving so quickly that to be fair, like you're a marketing company, I'm a marketing director with a full marketing team here. Every single, I don't even want to say every year, every quarter, we have to reevaluate what we're doing, what's effective and what's not. So it's not true that there's like a magic pill, like this is what you need to be doing, this is what works. There's only, this is what works for my business right now. That's the only form of what works. So you really need to be in the game, playing the game to understand. And if you can get someone who's doing it, even just part-time, but focused on your business as they're doing it, and not just doing it to say like, well, we're just posting social media posts because we have to. They're really thinking about your business. They're really thinking about the experience that they want people to have. They know the brand, they know the field, they know the story that they're trying to tell. You're going to be way further ahead than anybody else. And this is an industry that, and you see it because you do all home improvement trades, right? Not just hardscapers, but all home improvement trades. I think you see it in our industry. There's so much potential, and it's so underexploited because so many people look at marketing and say, well, all my business is word of mouth. I don't really need it. It's not that important. And that's wrong. It is super important.
Yeah, you lose a bit of control if you're relying solely on word of mouth and referrals. I mean, it's the best. It's the end game. Called the end game. It's what everyone wants more of. But you need something that you can rely on a little bit more than just, hey, hopefully people are going to talk about me this year.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. A lot of the questions have kind of gotten rolled into one here. So I'm just I'm looking. Let's see. Let's check over here. How can I measure the effectiveness of content marketing?
Yeah, good one. How can I measure the effectiveness of content marketing? Well,
can we define content marketing first for some of the people who are a little greener to marketing here?
Yeah, I mean, content marketing is broad, right? That could be anything. It could be, a content marketing strategy would encompass basically all the channels that we've been talking about, to this point. But generally, if you look at the ways that you can attract people to a website, those would be the efforts, the tactics that would be that would make up a content marketing plan, content marketing strategy, if you will, right? So how can you attract people to a website? You got SEO, you got social, both paid and organic. You have your blog, which is part of SEO technically. You got your newsletter. So basically, your pay, your owned, and your earned medium, right? These are all things that you can do to generate traffic. The way that you measure the efforts, again, I always boil it down to what's the return on marketing spend. So what is it costing you? It's costing you something, whether you're paying someone to do it or you're doing it yourself. If it's you, it's time. If it's someone else, okay, it's dollars. But you can still boil it all down to dollars because your time is worth something.
Your time is worth something.
Your time is worth something. So
we're going to talk about that with Paver Pete next week. We're going to talk about how do you pay yourself for all the different hats that you wear as an owner.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah. So, you're investing money into an effort. That effort is expected to yield typically traffic, because traffic, visibility is what we all want, right? We all want exposure. If we're posting to social, it's for exposure. If we're sending out newsletters, it's for exposure, content exposure, right? And then that exposure has to translate to leads, right? And when it does, well, now we can see, okay, well, how many leads is this one particular thing generating for us? So if I go to town on just, for example, blogging, right? Well, okay, how much traffic am I going to go and generate from this effort? And what's that turning into in terms of lead volume? And now I can put basically a dollar value to it, right? Now, some things are a lot easier to put a dollar value to. Anything that's paid becomes easy because it's money in, money out.
You paid, exactly. Yeah.
And it's a very short time frame. Now, I want people to think about anything that you do that is organic, that is what you'd call like evergreen, meaning you put it up on a website and it stays there. Like, well, blog content, right? If you put together a nice article talking about your process or your estimating process or your install process or something like that, and somebody happens to do research for keywords that you've built that post around, that post is there indefinitely. It's online, it's on your website, it gets indexed, and over time it'll rank and it'll bring you traffic and you'll get leads from that if your website's well optimized, right? So
I think one of the keys to that, though, all those different content pieces, we'll stick with the blog post as an example, is you need to have a CTA. You need to have a call to action, CTA, built into the different content pieces whenever possible. Because otherwise, if you just have that blog post you're saying like it gives us visibility. You can see how many views, but then you don't know how many of those became leads unless you have some kind of form that's like, reach out to us, contact us for your estimate, or let's get started today. And that button, how many times did that button get clicked? How many times did that form get submitted? Then you can see like, oh, this page or this piece of content is not only giving me the visibility, it's converting well. It's giving me the leads. Same thing if you're using, let's say Instagram, super popular. We're all on it right now. Let's say you're using Instagram to drive traffic to your storefront, which is your website. You know, you want to make sure that whatever URL that you use in your link in the bio is one that you're able to track. That you know, that's the one that is telling you like these are people who came from Instagram. So when you look at your web traffic, you can see how much stuff is coming because of the organic content that you're posting there. If you're just using the same thing, like let's say I'm Alex's Landscaping and my website is alexslandscaping.com, and I just use that exact URL everywhere, and any content piece that I have doesn't have a specific call to action, I could be getting a lot of traffic to the website. I don't know what's actually working though.
Yeah. So the call to action point, Alex, the CTA, you're absolutely right. Like if you never make the ask, you'll never get anything. So, and unfortunately, a lot of people are victim of this. You know, they have companies creating content for them, or they're doing it themselves. They're sending people to pages that are not. And when we say optimize, that's what we're referring to. It's have you put thought into how is this going to pay? How is this page going to take somebody who's consuming the content and then get them to reach out to you? So again, is your phone number super visible? Do you have a form on that page somewhere? Do you have maybe some kind of an offer throughout the actual page? And sometimes you'll have multiple CTAs, the same CTA, but it'll be reoccurring multiple times throughout the page. So within a blog post, you could break up the post midway through or even at the beginning and just, you know, hey, just a quick side note, you ever need anything, here you go, call us. We've got XYZ going on right now kind of thing. So those call to actions are really important. Unfortunately, if you're just blogging for the sake of blogging to look good in the eyes of Google to get traffic to a page, but you don't think about the user experience once someone's there, you're really missing the boat. So
yeah, that's a common mistake when you get started. You're like, oh, I wrote all these great blogs, but nothing seems to be happening. Well, are you asking them for the business? You got to ask. All right, we're going to take one last question here, and then we're going to get to the prize draw. So it's the last one on the screen that we see here. When targeting a keyword on a website, do I need to include the city/region into that keyword phrase, or is it assumed by Google based on my business location?
So yes, it's beneficial to do so. Yeah, if you can get that in there, and that's more of a technical SEO thing. You know, it will get to the point where people won't have to worry about. You know, there's a comment that came up earlier, Alex, where I think it was Ottawa landscape. You know, control. Yeah, check out the source. Control F. Find number of keywords in the page. That's becoming, you know, a thing of the past now, because Google knows what a page is about. People don't have to go and over optimize pages for very, very specific keywords, right? So people almost should stop worrying so much about SEO and the on-page stuff. I mean, the things that are important are the page load speed, right? Which again contribute directly to the user experience. If I'm getting to a website and it's taking 3 seconds to load, I'm gone, right? How legible is your content? So think of things like the font, the colors, right? The legibility, the spacing. Is it too cluttered? Is the page excessively long? You know, all of these things affect SEO almost as much as your, you know, the keywords that you're choosing. But you've got to let Google worry about, you know, being able to understand what your website's about. You'll do the basic things like your title tags, your meta descriptions, right? So that's basic stuff. To be specific with respect to locations is always going to help you, right? So it's not a bad thing. You should absolutely do that, but you don't have to worry about over optimizing your. Yeah. People
don't try to out Google.
Don't try to out Google. People will go as far as creating location specific pages. So say I'm in a particular you know, county. There's a whole bunch of cities that I serve. Yeah, build out web pages for those locations. That's a smart strategy. You know, you can do that.
So that would be like, let's say let's say I'm here in Montreal and I want to have like, right now we're in St. Hubert. So let's say I want to do like Longueuil area landscape contractors. I would have a page for here. And if I also do business across the bridge in Montreal, I would put like Southwest Montreal. I would put Westmount. I would have a page for each of the regions that I'm trying to get people to find me in, because those are the pages that will rank higher, because it matches that near me search that people are looking for, right?
Think about it. If you invest time to put together a web page which speaks specifically to your service in St. Hubert, and somebody's in St. Hubert and does a search, and Google is able to see your website among many, but you've got a page there all about St. Hubert with, you've got the map on there, you've got jobs you've done there, you've got testimonials from people there, and everything.
Yeah.
It's just so much more relevant, right? So,
well, Google's going to look at it and be like, this is probably a good page to refer. And that's how Google gets paid. When people click on the pages and like, yeah, that was a good page.
Yeah. So this is more like a technical on-page SEO thing, which, speaking very high level here, a technical SEO would be able to give you really all the nitty-gritty on it. But in general, that's how it works. And that page, again, SEOs will build out location-specific web pages, and they will repurpose that same kind of template for each of the different locations. So now your page titles, all your meta descriptions, your images have all been optimized to be location-specific, right?
Yeah. Perfect. Icon, I'm glad this is helping you. He said, worth the price of admission right here. It was free, man. So I don't know. Is that priceless? Is that what that's qualified as? All right. That's it for the questions. I mean, obviously, we can go all night. That's what. Almost lost you guys. We got the course online. Let me just flip this around real quick here. So if you go on hardscaper.com, you click on all courses up here, you're going to see the different options. This is the marketing course that Marc has put together with his team, the Hardscaper's Blueprint to Scaling with Online Marketing. You see there's already 671 people that have started this course so far. So why not be 672? And you click Start Course over here, and you'll see all the lessons all ready to go. And really well done, Marc. You break it down from the introduction to digital marketing down through journey mapping, your customer, understanding the numbers required to be able to turn the traffic into leads, and leads into sales, and sales into profits, and all that fun stuff. Having the right assets to get the traffic to the site, leveraging paid media versus owned media, converting visitors into leads into sales, like I said, delighting the customers, which is as important. It's not just getting people and doing business with them, but making them have such an amazing experience that they are thrilled to have done business with you, and they refer you to others to get that word of mouth. Collecting feedback. Feedback helps you improve. Feedback also gives you testimonials, which is great. And increasing revenue and profitability. Again, the whole purpose behind marketing is to get you the right customers. And if you have the right customers, then you can charge them the right prices that are good for you, not just for them. And then you wrap it all up. And what I like about it, Marc, is there's a lot of mindset stuff in here too. So it's really just getting your head in the right space for how to leverage marketing to grow my business, and get you thinking about how much potential really does exist for your business. So I really like this course, and I want to thank you for putting it together, because it's really well done.
Cool. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We're glad to be able to participate in this project. And like you said, there is a lot of mindset stuff in there. From where we sit, we work with a lot of 7- and 8-figure businesses, and we've been doing so for years. And believe it or not, that course, which comes in at just around an hour or so, maybe a bit more, but these are things that all the heavy hitters are doing. And it's not much more complex than that. So yeah, we could have built you a course that was 50 hours long and uber technical, but fundamentally, these are all the things that people need. So it doesn't really matter where you're at within your business revenue-wise. I think there's something to be learned in there. And yeah, hopefully people get value from it.
For sure. All right, Marc, I guess if you want to stick around for the prize draw, you can. If not, I'll let you head home to your family. I'm going to move on to the prize draw.
Cool. I'll jump off, Alex, so you can go full screen.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot,
People
man.
have to stare at my ugly mug. All right, cheers, everyone. Thanks. Bye.
Take care. See ya. All right, so today we have 4 prizes that we're giving away. This is for everybody who watched the episode today on hardscaper.com. We have 4 more episodes like this coming up over the next 4 Wednesdays. So if you don't win today, check out one of the other episodes and you have a chance to win. And Icon, you won last week. So we'll see if you're lucky again this week, but you won a pretty sick prize last week. Okay, so first prize that we're giving away. Let me grab this guy over here. That's our Ox coffee box, the job site coffee maker. I use this thing every day. It's awesome. Retractable cord, works with the K-cups, and yeah, worth about $300. We're giving one of those away. No, my Jurassic Park mug is mine. That is a gift from my friend Brandon, and no, that is never going anywhere. Okay, so the coffee maker. All this was selected by our team about an hour ago, so right before we went live, and coffee maker is Kevin Leahy from Magnolia Hardscapes. So I'll be doing this. Congratulations, Kevin Leahy from Magnolia Hardscapes. We're going to be reaching out to you to confirm some details, and you're going to get this thing out in the mail. Now, the next thing we're giving away, let me just come over here, flip this around, is the TechoBlock sample luggage. So we've been talking about these. There's about 1,000 of them out there in the market today. Happy contractors using them to upsell jobs, make the sales experience a more pleasant one, close deals faster. So the 2021 versions are going to be shipping in a few more weeks here, and we're giving 3 of these away. If you want to get your own and you're not a lucky winner today, that's okay. You can go to techoblock.com/sample-books, and you can order your own. Or get together with your local TechoBlock sales rep and see if there's anything we can do for you. But we got them. They're available. They're for sale. They're selling really quickly. I think we sold another 30 of them last week, so they're moving really fast. And we got them here. So we're giving 3 away. The first winner is Bob Hannakainen from Mode Landscaping. Congratulations, Bob. Our second winner for the sample booklet kit is Ben Brown from Granite Coast Landscapes. And our third winner and final winner for today is Malvin Saul Ayala from Demon Fort. So congratulations to everybody. And thank you very much for joining us here on another live Q&A session. We're going to be doing this again 4 more times. So make sure that if you didn't see today's episode, you head on over to hardscaper.com. You can watch last week's episode. You can watch this week's episode. Everything's there for you on demand. It's free. All you need to do is subscribe to hardscaper.com. You can access the courses. And if you want more of Marc's great tips and advice, you can check out the Hardscape Growth podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or right on hardscaper.com. You can play it there on the page and check out some of that great stuff too. We have 6 episodes up there now. There's a new episode every Tuesday morning. So you'll want to subscribe to that. And I guess that's it for this week, guys. We'll see you next week here on Hardscaper. And till then, work hard, pave harder. Have a good night. See you, everyone.